Hi everyone, welcome to another review. Today we are doing a review on the Cook's coffee maker. Now I believe this is a JC Penney exclusive product, and I normally do Amazon reviews, but I felt it was important to do this one because this leads up to another review of the coffee pot that replaces this one. Now this goes back to the old saying, you get what you pay for. Now this coffee maker was only maybe $20 at JC Penney, and the reason why we got it is because we needed one, and we needed one quickly, and because we are big coffee drinkers. There's a few things that I don't like about this coffee maker at all. One is the timing, or the timer I should say. Now when you program this coffee maker, for some reason it does not hold the time. Now I programmed it more than once to go off at 6 a.m. just to give me an example, and we wake up and it's hit or miss. Sometimes it's running, sometimes it's not. Another thing I do not like about this coffee maker is it's very, very easy to scratch. I don't know if you can see in the video, but just even with the sponge wipe, there's scratch marks in here. I don't know why. I mean, I just use regular dishwashing soap, not dishwashing soap, but dish soap, but maybe the soap is abrasive. I'm not sure, but there's scratches all over it. Normally that's not a big deal, but one of the big deals is when you fill this up with water, as you're filling it up with water, water also drips out of here. I mean, I don't know why, but a lot of times the bottom plate will be wet as I'm filling this in. Why does that happen? I'm not sure. And another weird, odd thing with this is the water reservoir. Now I'm going to try to get this in the camera. I'm going to tilt this camera up a little bit. Okay, as you fill this up with water, the fill reservoir is all the way in the back. I'm going to try to get this in the camera. Let me move this coffee pot here so I don't break it. Okay, here's the top. The water reservoir is in the back, which I can't stand and I hate, because you have to reach over to fill it. So you're going to have to pull the coffee maker out away from a wall in order to fill it so you don't get water everywhere. I don't like that at all. And another thing I don't like, why is this on this coffee maker, is this little hole right here. You see that hole? I'm hoping you can see it in the camera. I want to try to zoom in a little bit. Okay. Why is that there? And I'm going to tell you what it does. It is basically an overflow hole. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen on a coffee maker. If you fill this coffee pot up past 12 cups, even just a little bit past this line, water is going to flow out of this hole. And you know what that means? Your countertop is going to be soaking wet. Yeah, that's what it is. It's an overflow hole. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. I can't tell you how many times our kitchen counter was soaking wet because of that. That right there, I just don't get it. Why would anybody have that on a coffee maker? I mean, I understand it's an overflow and you don't want to overflow, but it doesn't. To make your reservoir equal this exactly then. I'm sorry, this exactly then. I don't understand. And you can tell the coffee pots, it's definitely been used. Every product that we review, we actually use the product, and I'm not just making things up. One of the things I do like about it, and there's not many as you can tell already, I love that it comes with a reusable basket. All you do is put the coffee grinds into this basket, and when you're done, you just empty it out and you rinse it real good, and it's reusable. No paper baskets if you need it. You can use a paper basket, but we never did. Also, one last thing I want to make is it doesn't tell you when it needs cleaning either. Now most coffee makers will at least give you a clean light indicator, letting you know it's time to decalcify it. This one doesn't do anything, so it's just if your coffee starts tasting a little funky, then that's time to clean it. That's your only indication that you want to know when it's time to clean it. Or you can just schedule it on your own, like, you know, I don't know, clean it once a month, maybe like every last Friday of the month or something. And you know, the auto timer, if you don't care about the auto timer, you don't care about the overflow, say you only drink like maybe 8 cups or 6 cups or whatever, then it's probably not going to bother you. And if you don't really care about the timer, automatic coffee making, and you want to make it on the go, then, you know, this might be for you. And if you don't care about the cleaning and the care, then this might be for you. But for me, those are definitely selling points that this does not have. Anyway, pros and cons of this coming up. So thank you. Hey guys, thanks for watching the review. So here's the pros and cons of this coffee maker. Now keep in mind, I can only rate this coffee maker based off of my own personal experience, as well as my wife's experience with this unit. Not everybody's going to be experiencing the same things as I do. There are some people, I'm sure, that have bought this and love the coffee maker and see no problems with it. But again, I can only review off of my own experience with this coffee maker. So take that as you will. So some of the pros with this unit, it's not very expensive at all. I mean, it's only $25. It's available at JC Penney, and you can either order it online or you can pick it up right at the store. My wife picked this up right at the store, so she brought it home, and it was easy peasy. And we had a coupon, and we actually paid $20 on this. And if looking at the website right now, it says it was $60, and I'm sorry, this coffee maker is not worth $60 at all. And that's my own personal opinion. So right now, I think it's $25. So it's not very expensive. Another pro for this is it's kind of small. So it doesn't take up a lot of space on the counter. And what I mean by small is it's not wide. Some people complain that it's too tall, but honestly, I don't see how it's too tall. It's actually a little smaller height-wise than my last coffee maker. And my new coffee maker, it's pretty much the same height. So I don't know why some people would say it's too tall. But I haven't found that issue at all. So it does save some space on your countertop. And it does come with a reusable filter, which I really enjoy. I want to say most, a lot of new coffee makers nowadays come with a reusable basket for coffee grinds, but not all of them do, and it's nice to see that this one does. Now for the cons, as I stated in my review, the water, it's got a water drippage issue when you remove the pot. Again, it could be a defective unit that I have, but I have read reviews where other people experienced this as well. So I don't know if it's a design flaw or what, but I don't like that at all. So when you fill the reservoir up with water, sometimes, most of the time for me, it'll also drip out where the coffee pot sits in the warming plate. So it'll drip out of there. So if you have fresh coffee grinds already in the coffee basket while you're filling this, well, you know, it's dripping through that. So I don't like that at all. Sometimes, even after the coffee's made, I go and grab a cup of coffee and it's still dripping from when it brewed. So again, I'm not sure if it's a design flaw or if I just had a defective unit, but that's definitely a con. Another con, as I mentioned before, is that overflow hole in the back of the reservoir. No idea why the makers of Cooks decided this was a good idea. If you don't want the water to overflow, then either make the coffee pot smaller so that it doesn't hold as much water so that doesn't happen, or you make the reservoir bigger than what the coffee pot can hold. That way, you know, there's no way that you can overflow it or overfill it. Why put a hole there? There's been plenty of times where we've come downstairs and the countertop is soaking wet, and that's because we barely went past the 12 cup mark on the coffee pot, and of course it overflowed through that hole, and then there goes your counter. It's all wet. I'm sorry, but that is just not a very good design to have. I've never seen that before, and that's a big con in my book. I had some programming issues. Now I'm sure that's because my unit was defective. I can't imagine everybody having this issue. And what I mean by programming issue is you set it for, and I'm just going to give you an example. As you set it for 6 a.m. to make coffee, sometimes you come down, you wake up and you go downstairs and it's there. Your coffee's ready and it's been done. Other times it's not. Even though the audit one is set to 1 and it's glowing green, it just doesn't. And I don't know why it's hit or miss with mine. I also read reviews where other people had this issue too, so take that for what that is. It does indeed scratch very easily. So if you like to keep your appliances and your coffee maker clean on the outside, keep in mind that chrome finish really scratches easy. That really doesn't take much at all. Another thing is there's no clean indicator. Now, I know not a lot of coffee pots or coffee makers have this, but you know, this thing, the original price for this coffee maker is $60. So if I was going to pay $60 for a coffee maker, you would expect to have something as a clean indicator at least. I mean, at least give us that if you're going to try to sell this at $60 full price. Anyway, guys, so my final verdict for this, again, I had to base this off of my own experience. I'm going to have to give it a 2 out of 5 stars. To me, it's definitely not worth the purchase. Again, I can only base this off of my own personal experience. But if you're on a very tight budget, even if you're on a tight budget, I still would recommend something else, because just for that overflow hole alone, and I know I keep harping on that, but that's a big design flaw in my own personal opinion. Now, having said that, if you go to JC Penney's website and you look at the coffee maker reviews for this coffee maker, and this is the model 22087, and it's made by Cooks, you're going to see an average of 4 stars. There is no way this coffee maker is worth 4 stars. I'm sorry. There's no way. There's no way. There's a lot better ones that do a lot more than this, that cost pretty much the same amount of price, that deserve 4 stars. This does not deserve 4 stars. 3 maybe 3, and that's without that stupid overflow hole thing. But 4 stars, there's no way. And if you look at the reviews, a lot of these are makes great coffee. Some of them are the timer works great, you know, that type of thing. But it really doesn't tell you much else. There are some detailed reviews in there, but for the majority, there's no way this is 4 stars, in my personal opinion. That's why I made this channel, and that's why I review these products firsthand for you. Anyway, that's my personal opinion on this. We do have a replacement coffee maker that we've bought to replace this one with, and it is fantastic, and I'm going to do a review on that in a little while. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and I hope this helps you decide whether or not you want to buy this. And I really appreciate all the support, and thank you again.